Imagine planting a single sunflower seed in your backyard. For the first few weeks, nothing remarkable seems to happen. But months later, that one seed sprouts into a towering plant, then dozens more, covering the patch with bright yellow faces. That's compounding in action. Now imagine you plant not one seed, but a whole orchard of seeds. The growth happens faster, the yields multiply, and the impact is magnified. That's scale at compounding. Here's a startling fact. Many people believe compounding is enough. They think, just keep investing $100 a month, let time do the magic, and you'll be wealthy. But without scale, compounding often disappoints. Without scale, compounding is like slowly rubbing two stones together and hoping they burst into flame. Not efficient, not guaranteed. So today, I'm going to show you why compounding doesn't work without scale, and more importantly, how you can build scale in your life so that compounding becomes not a trickle, but a mighty river. Toward the end, I'll share a simple blueprint you can start right now to begin scaling wisely. And that's the lever that turns compounding into explosive growth. If you're serious about building wealth and breaking free from money problems, hit that subscribe button. We've got powerful content lined up to fuel your journey. Point 1. Compounding is a slow crescendo, not instant symphony. Let me ask, have you ever watched the slow accumulation of snow on a branch in winter, expecting the load to snap in a day? It rarely happens that way. The weight builds gradually, inch by inch, until one day it snaps. Many people treat compounding the same way. They invest little, wait, and expect a sudden breakthrough. Here's the problem. Time alone is a weak accelerator when you have tiny inputs. Why this matters? If your monthly investment is $100, compounding over 30 years at 8%, annual growth gives you about $162,000. That's decent. But to reach $1 million, you need $500 per month or a much higher rate. Without scale, without increasing inputs, compounding alone is painfully slow. Raise your base flow first. Treat compounding as a magnifier for what you already feed in. Every time you increase your input, whether it's income, capital, or productivity, you increase the compounding effect. If I double my investment, will my final result double? The answer, no. It will more than double due to compounding accelerating the extra amount over time. That's the hidden leverage. But here's the twist. Many of us plateau because we fear adding more. Fear of debt, risk, or failure. Later, I'll show a scale multiplier hack that breaks that fear pattern and lets you scale safely and sustainably. Keep that in mind as we move forward. Number 2, the trap of linear mindset. Multipliers, vs. adders. I want to take you behind the curtain. In psychology and neuroeconomics, humans often fall into linear mindset, doing the same small thing daily, expecting huge results. But most breakthrough growth isn't linear, it's multiplicative. Imagine you're climbing stairs. Adding one step each day versus doubling steps every few days. The ladder blasts off. Why it matters. If you only add, you'll always move gradually. If you can learn to multiply your income, your output, your influence, then compounding becomes a rocket ship, not a slow train. What mistake most people make? They focus purely on extra 5% improvements, adders, instead of stepping into multiplicative change. They never try doubling their business, leveraging systems, scaling teams, or building passive infrastructure. They remain constrained by their own hands. Look for scale multipliers, things that can double or triple your output with minimal additional effort. Examples: automation, delegation, systems, intellectual property, platforms. Adders get you slow growth. Multipliers get you exponential growth. Think of scale as creating leverage, so your effort gives output 10x, not 1x. Seek platforms, digital, asset-based, people-based, to multiply instead of merely adding. Number 3, why compound interest alone favors big players. Let me show you a paradox. Compound interest benefits the large more than the small. When institutional investors manage $100 million at 10% growth, a 1% boost gives them $1 million extra. When you manage $10,000, a 1% boost gives you $100. The absolute gain is vastly different. That's scale bias in compounding. The system favors scale. Market returns, economies of scale, cost structures, and leverage all tilt advantages toward those already larger. If you stay small, compounding pays, but pays you small rewards. Most people, they try to replicate institutional returns on tiny capital expecting parity. They ignore fixed cost advantages, transaction costs, research, relationships that big players leverage. They ignore that scale itself is an unfair advantage. Work to get into that advantage zone. Accumulate capital, reputation, networks, and trust. Use partnerships, syndication, or pooled capital. Align yourself with bigger vehicles so that small compounding rides larger streams. Compound growth is not democratic. Scale skews benefits. Think structurally. Access, size, networks matter more than just return percent. Later, I'll show how even small individuals can capture institutional-level multipliers without needing 100 million. There's a path, and I'll reveal it. Number 4. Compound skills, not just money. Money is one domain, but scale can apply to your skills, your knowledge, your time. If your skill-based compounds, your capabilities, reputation, systems, then those compound into money. Consider linguistic skills or musical skills. If you master guitar, then the next skill leaps faster. That compounding of capabilities allows you to scale not through hours, but through influence and leverage. Many people invest in money but forget investments in themselves. They hope compounding money will solve everything, but their skill floor never rises, so their capacity is fixed. What mistake most people make? They treat skills as static or one-time investments. Go to a course, finish, then assume it's done. They don't compound skills, mastery over mastery, merging multiple domains. They never build meta skills like learning, systems thinking, leadership. Instead, build skill ladders. Every new skill should feed into others. Invest in how to learn better, how to teach, how to systematize. Leverage platforms, writing, public speaking, courses, to let your skills echo. Let your skills multiply themselves. Ask yourself, if I spend 100 hours learning X, will that pay off? It will, but only if you reuse, teach, package, and spread that skill. If you hoard it, it's dead capital. Skills compound when combined and leveraged through others. Number 5. Scale from leverage, money, people, technology. Scale doesn't come by force, it comes by leverage. And there are 3 core levers: capital leverage, people leverage, and technological leverage. Capital leverage is borrowing or investing other people's money. People leverage is delegating, leading, inspiring. Tech leverage is automation and systems. If you try to do everything yourself with your own capital, you'll always be bounded. You hit ceilings. Leverage breaks ceilings. Use smart leverage, margin you can handle. Borrow with discipline. Build teams that stretch you. Automate repetitive tasks. Use software, AI, platforms. Combine these levers in synergy. Capital lets you scale fast. People let you execute. Tech lets you sustain. Isn't leverage dangerous? Yes, if unmanaged. But in finance, leveraged instruments, when used intelligently, create asymmetric upside. Similarly, people and tech leverage create outsized returns when you build guardrails. Avoiding leverage is a growth killer. Leverage intelligently, not recklessly. Just ahead, I'll share a safe leverage protocol, a system to use leverage without fear, loss, or overwhelm. Number 6. The psychology of scale, changing identity and thresholds. Here's a little-known truth from behavioral psychology. Your mind works in thresholds. You treat money, success, identity in rough bands. I'm a $100 per month saver. I'm a $1,000 investor. I'm a $100,000 earner. Unless you jump identity bands, you remain stuck. Scale often fails not because of external limits, but internal identity ceiling. Until you see yourself at a higher grade, you won't scale the inputs required for compounding. Use identity pivots. Act as the person you're becoming. Visualize your scale identity daily. Raise the thresholds. When you see yourself as a 6-figure investor, your mental comfort level shifts and you begin allocating more. When you believe you are a leader, you naturally delegate. Growth is as much internal as external. To scale, your identity must expand first. If you apply these ideas, here's how your transformation could look. You shift from a small, fixed-income earner into a high-leverage creator. Compounding stops being a slow drip and becomes a mighty tide. You open multiple compounding engines, let each feed the others. optimize flow, and guard your system. You begin thinking exponentially. Scale first, compound second. You stop worshiping time alone and start worshiping leverage, velocity, branching, identity. You escape the trap of linear mindset. The few who master this don't just grow, they multiply impact, wealth, legacy. You're not just building money, you're building systems, influence, freedom. I'm grateful for the chance to share these insights with you. If this video made a difference, like it, share it with your loved ones, and subscribe for more powerful tips. Now, if you want to know 8 smart ways to get rich with a salary, then watch this video. I'll see you there.